This is Stepping Stones lesson 7.6. We are still working with common fractions, and now we are adding mixed numbers. Step in says, how could you calculate the total amount of water in these pitchers? Mia thinks 2 3/8 is equivalent to 2 plus 3/8, and 1 4/8 is equivalent to 1 plus 4/8. She wrote this equation. She added the whole numbers first, then she added the fractions, then she added the two totals. What is the total? So if we did that, we added the two whole numbers, we would get 3. And then if we added 3/8 plus 4/8, we would get 7/8. So our total would be 3 7/8. That's an 8. 8. Alejandro started with 2 3/8, added 1, then added 4/8. It says show his method on the number line. So he started with 2 3/8, which is right here. Then he added 1, so we would skip up 1 whole, so plus 1, to 3 3/8. 3 3/8. Then he added 4/8, so we would go 1, 2, 3, 4 to 3 7/8. It says use Alejandro's method to add these mixed numbers. Show your thinking on the number line. Remember, if you don't like using the number line, that's fine. You don't have to use it. Sometimes it can be a really good point of reference, though, when figuring these things out. So if we were going to use Alejandro's method, we would do 2 2/4 plus 1 first. So 2 2/4 would be right here. Plus 1 would be 3 2/4. And then we would add equals 3 2/4. And then we would add 1/4 plus 1/4, which would have us do this little jump right there. And that equals 3 3/4. Okay, and I know the directions say use Alejandro's method to add these mixed numbers, but if you prefer Mia's method where she adds the whole numbers first, 2 plus 1 plus 1/5 plus 3/5, you can use that as well to get the answer. So we have 2 plus 1 is 3, so this would equal 3. Plus 1/5 plus 3/5 is 4/5. And it's really important right now that we learn to not write that whole number over there just yet, because not every time we add common fractions, it may not be a proper fraction where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So we need to get in the habit of not assuming that we have only the whole numbers to put over there. So we get 3 4/5. Let's go to the second page. It says use the same method to add these. So this one doesn't have a whole number in this place, but we can still add it just the same. So we would have 1 3/10. So 1 3/10 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10 would give us 1 8/10. Go ahead and do B on your own. Okay, 3 says to use Mia's method to complete each equation. Again, even though it says to use Mia's method, I want you to use whichever method makes the most sense to you. So I'm going to demonstrate using Mia's method, but if you prefer to add the whole number to the entire fraction like Alejandro did, then that's fine as well. So I'm going to add 3 plus 2 equals 5. And remember, we're not going to write our whole number up here until we're sure that we added these fractions and they don't give us an improper fraction. So 4/8 plus 3/8 equals 7/8. And because that is a proper fraction, our numerator is smaller than our denominator, we can go ahead and write this up here. 5 7/8. Now down here on E, Actually, do B and C on your own, and down here on D, we have 2 6/10 plus something equals 7 8/10. So I'm going to have to work backwards here a little bit and say to myself, okay, what could I have added to 2 to get 7? And I'm going to say 5. And what could I have added to 6/10 to get 8/10? That would be 2/10. So pay attention on those. E is similar. F, it only gives you the answer. So there may be more than one answer here. So I would figure out 2 numbers that added together. So question mark plus question mark are going to equal 13. And then something over 8 plus something over 8 are going to equal 6/8. And there's a couple different answers that can be. And then those, you'll have to make mixed numbers here and here. Okay. Step ahead says write the missing numbers on this addition trail. So we're adding 3 1/12 plus 5 3/12. I'm sorry, plus 2 3/12. So 3 plus 2 is 5. 1 plus 3 is 4/12. And then I'm going to add this one to this one. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we have 5/12. And then I'm going to add this number to this number and so on. So fill in those last 2 on your own, and then we will be done.